Hi guys, Lori here from Mermaid and Jedi Adventures. I just thought I would do a quick video today about a question that I've been asked a lot by some family and friends, which is traveling to Disney when you have mobility issues, whether that be previous injuries, whether you have a wheelchair, whether you need to have access to a scooter or anything like that, or if you might just have some foot issues where you can't walk for long periods of time. There's lots of different mobility issues that people have. So I thought that I would address some of those issues today on the video. So again, I'm not an expert. There are probably things that I'll miss, but I'm going to include as many things that I can think of that might put your mind at ease. If you have any additional questions, calling Disney and asking them directly is probably your best bet, but I'm certainly open to answering some more questions if you have any. Just list them below. If you have any questions or you're a little bit shy or maybe you don't want to list them publicly, you can certainly go to mermaid_and_Jedi_adventures on Instagram and send us a private message that way. So I'm going to start, I think, from maybe when you land in Orlando to kind of getting through a park day. So quickly. So when you land in Orlando, there is, if you're having a rental car, there is definitely, you can call your rental company directly and ask for different accessibility options, whether you need a wheelchair van or if you just need a car that has more room, they're able to answer those questions for you. Something, if you want to avoid skipping the line, is you can sign up for one of their rewards memberships, whether that's Alamo or Dollar or, basically any of the major car rental companies have those, which are nice because then you don't have to wait at the counter with everybody else. You can either go directly to your car or there's a dedicated line for you to go to. So once you procure your transportation, whether that's Disney Magical Express, there is definitely options available for you. If you need more of an accessible vehicle, just talk to Disney directly and they will hook you up with that. So the next thing is when you get to your hotels, you may want to request a room that's closer to the main area or to the transportation. So some of the resort properties are very large and sprawling. All are very accessible. They all have elevators. You're able to get into them, but you can ask for an accessible room, which usually means there'll be either like a roll-in shower or extra handles and stuff for getting around. Maybe the bed might be a little bit higher, a little bit lower. You can certainly talk to a Disney agent about that. If you're staying off property, just make sure that you talk to either the hotel or the rental company or the vacation house wherever you're staying at. Ask them how accessible it is and what availability of accessibility options that they have. Sometimes things come on one floor, sometimes there's stairs, you might want to look into that. So that's kind of some tips for staying, when you're picking out a place to stay, is kind of some options to look into for accessibility. For the most part though, even if you're quite far away, there's usually parking options in different areas of the resorts, as well as really smooth paths everywhere. Sometimes they're a little busy, but you can definitely get from point A to point B. So when you want to go to the parks, there's a couple of options for transportation as well. There are the Disney provided buses, which will go from all of the Disney resorts and Disney Springs, as well as all of the water parks and all the other parks as well. So that's free transportation provided by Disney. If you have a wheelchair or a scooter or you just need more room, they're the kind of the kneeling buses, and somebody will come out and help you get on those buses as well. So don't think that you can't take the Disney transportation if you have a wheelchair or a scooter. The next thing is, if you are traveling by car, you can request, if you have your pass, like the blue handicap or accessible pass, you can park closer to the front of the parking area. So there are areas that are a bit closer. You're still going to have a little bit of a trek, but because the parking lots are huge at Disney, but you can get closer to where you need to go. Another thing is if you are parking anywhere else on property, on one of the 4 parks, they do have trams. So if you are able to transfer to a tram, they have trams that will kind of at the end of the rows where you park, that'll take you all the way up to the front of the park. So with Hollywood Studios, with Epcot, and with Animal Kingdom, that brings you right up to where the tickets are, where the main entrance is. It's a little bit different with Magic Kingdom. There's a few differences there that I'll go into for Magic Kingdom. So when you go to Magic Kingdom and you park your car, you don't just get off the tram and you're at Magic Kingdom. You have to get on you end up at the Ticket and Transportation Center, or the Transportation and Ticket Center, the TTC, and you have the option of taking either a monorail or you can take a ferry to Magic Kingdom. Both are very accessible. You can use wheelchairs, you can use your scooters or electric scooters on either one, either the monorail or the ferry boat, so it's really up to you which one you prefer. Then you just take that over and you're at Magic Kingdom. So you scan your passes and then get in. So just a couple of general things for when you arrive there. If you're not bringing your own wheelchair or you're not bringing your own scooter and you need one, there are wheelchairs available at the Disney parks right there that you can rent. If you want a scooter, like an electric scooter, there is tons of companies in Orlando. They cater to people, that need anything basically. So you can either pick up a scooter or you can actually pre-arrange to have your scooter dropped off at wherever you're staying. And there's great deals on that as well. So those kind of handle those issues with sort of transportation or getting around to and from the parks. But when you're actually at the parks, what is it like? So this is where I'll kind of break it down into a little bit more detail. So if you are somebody who has some, let's say, injuries. So for example, myself, I have a pre-existing condition from a injury related where I herniated a couple of discs in my back quite a few years ago. So day to day I'm fine, but I do things preventatively. So anything that kind of whips me back and forth or there's uncontrolled movement, it doesn't necessarily, pop my discs out or anything, but it can make me quite sore and, kind of ruins your day a little bit. So there are definitely some rides that I stay away from. There's definitely roller coaster type rides at the parks, but there's also things that you can definitely go on. So anything like, I'm just going to list a few. So if you're at Hollywood Studios, I would say be cautious with Star Tours, and I would maybe avoid Rock and Roller Coaster because it does spin you upside down and go around. The rest of the rides are okay. If you don't like the drops, Tower of Terror would be out, but that's kind of it for Hollywood Studios. Animal Kingdom, I find most things in Animal Kingdom are fine except for Dinoland. I would stay away from Dinosaur, lots of jerky movements, starts and stops and kind of whipping back and forth a bit, and also what is it called? Primeval Whirl or Primeval Hurl as people call it. If you're prone to motion sickness, it's not great. That also has a lot of jerky stops and can hurt you, especially if you have any neck or shoulder injuries. Not good. But the other ones for the most part are okay. Epcot is fine for the most part. And now again, this is totally, dependent. Take a look, good look at yourself and what's going on and what you might want to avoid. Pay attention to the warnings when they talk about if you have any mobility issues, if you have any injuries, if you have any high blood pressure, definitely look into those things and follow Disney's guidelines. But you can go on a lot of the different rides. So Epcot, I'm just trying to think. I can write everything on Epcot with my issues. So there's nothing really that kind of whips back and forth. Magic Kingdom, this is totally a personal preference thing. I find that I cannot do Space Mountain. Something about the combination of the quick movements back and forth and not being able to see where I'm going and brace myself, can't do it. I can do 1 or 2 shots on Big Thunder Mountain or Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, and then that's sort of it for me. But that's really all I need to do. And the rest of the things are great. So for the most part, there's a lot of smooth rides, a lot of trams, a lot of dark rides. Those are all great. And you're able to sort of go on those, if you do have some injuries or sort of soreness in different parts. So if you have a wheelchair or you have a scooter, just know that on most of the Disney rides that you go on, you're going to have to be able to transfer. So they will stop the ride, most rides, like they'll stop them and give you more time to get on or some help to get on the rides. You just will talk about, you can get a pass, which is just sort of lets people know there might be a special entrance and lets the cast members know that you might need some more assistance getting onto the rides. But you can ride on almost everything as long as you're able to transfer. If you're not able to transfer and you are going to Disney parks, there's still things for you to do. So there are things like shows, parades, fireworks. There's like little attractions like the Beauty and the Beast musical show at Hollywood Studios, or Mickey's PhilharMagic, things like that you can watch and enjoy that you won't have to transfer at all. So yeah, I just wanted to make a quick video to let you know that your options aren't limited. You know, if you want to travel to Disney and you do have some mobility issues or some injuries, you can certainly do it. Yeah, so I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, please ask them down below, or certainly send me a message at Mermaid and Jedi Adventures on Instagram. We hope, I say we because I always think David's here. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you did. We do put out videos every Friday. Until we talk to you next time, take care.